So I want to show you how to finish formatting your pendant. I'm going to just very quickly walk through the steps and talk about this. I have these two images here, and already right off the bat I can tell this one, as beautiful as it is, if I go in and I try to do something with this positive and negative space here, I'm probably going to end up with something a little bit too complex. And in fact, I did one and it's beautiful, but for the laser cutter, like that's a lot of stuff to have to worry about. I would have to spend a lot of time simplifying it. Whereas this piece looks complex, but if I just grab a small snippet of it, I can probably get away with it. So let's just walk through the whole process and I'll show you how to finish formatting your piece. So this is actually review. So I'm not going to do too much. I'm going to go to image trace and of course black and white. Hit the preview button. Let's see what that looks like. Looks good. I don't really need to adjust much. So I will unclick preview and hit trace and then object expand, and I'll say OK to that. All right, so I need my crop tool. So in this particular case, I'm going to copy it. So I just opt and drag, bring this over and decide what I want to copy. Remember, if you are putting this over here, in like I want this to fit in, it's a little bit too small. I want to shrink the image down. Don't change the size of this shape. So I think what I'm going to do is grab this and shrink it down a little bit. I like that better. I'm going to say object arrange bring to front so that this shape is now on top of this shape. So when I let go, I can actually still see it and manipulate it, move it around. I like the way that looks actually. So I'm going to go ahead and drag both of these and only these two things. Go to my Pathfinders tool, which is already open. So go Window Pathfinder and go to crop. And oops. Make sure I have something selected here. If I don't have both of them selected, it's not going to work. Let's try that again and crop. There we go. So there it is. Looks great. So I'm ready to start formatting this for the actual piece. So I'm going to drag this other piece over here, and I'm going to do something unusual. I'm going to go to Object, Offset Path. So Path, Offset Path. What this lets me do is make a larger or smaller path on basically using the one I have. So I'm going to say, let's make it, I don't know, 0.2 inches around. And what this, you'll see what this does immediately. It will grow my path. So there, I actually have a larger path right there, which I'm going to center. If I zoom in, here's what's important. You have to have your align tools on for this to work. You see how like everything kind of lines up? So I can center this in the middle. So if you select both of these like that, and you go to Window, Align, and this shows up, and then you align objects. So you click here, it centers it both this way, and then if I click this way, it centers it this way. This was already aligned. Let me just show you. I'll move this off to the side. So again, select these both. See how it does that, and then does that. So it does the work for you, basically, that you need. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take both of these, and I'm going to make my stroke 0.25. I'll explain why later. Make it black, and I'm going to give this absolutely no fill. And here's what I want to do. I have a problem that I need to fix. Let's say I decided that I wanted my positive and negative space to be here. I don't actually want these to be cut out. I want to cut here. I don't know if this makes sense at all, but I don't want to get here. Let me undo that actually and make this have, if I show you this way, there we are. So you see how that's working? Let's just pretend, for example, this, in fact, we can assign this a color too if you want to. We can make this white. And then what I need to do is get rid of this line here because the laser cutter will cut there. So what I'm going to need to do is some work on this. I need to come in with the letter C. You already know how to do this, I hope. Cut a path right there, and there it is, and I hit delete. And obviously I have to do a little cleanup work, but I'm going to go ahead and proceed to go around this whole piece now, and wherever I have these lines, I'm going to delete them. Just where I want the white to connect to the border there. So I wish I could pause the video and then just show you the final example, but actually I think I have one here. You zoom up here. So this is kind of what we're looking at. You see how there's no line there or there in terms of how to get this done. So you have to do the same thing over here now. So just grab the scissors tool and zoom in a lot and then cut cut. Oops. Make sure you're cutting on the line itself and then delete. And go all the way around and do that.